I am very excited for our presentation today. We have Fernando from Launch35 joining us, and he will be delivering our content for this morning. Just a quick introduction as to who I am. My name is Michael Mendez. I am the program manager for the Cook County Small Business Source here at the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Fernando, can you hit the next slide for me, please? And just real quick before our presentation, just a little bit about what the Cook County Small Business Source Program is. We're a very boots on the ground oriented program. We were actually just in the Cicero, Berwyn, and Oak Park area, going door to door, talking to business owners about the resources that we have here at the Chamber as a part of the program. We provide one-on-one business advising, from general business advising, from that initial start or initial idea to start your business to actually making it a reality, and anything that you would need in between, whether it be marketing or operations. We're here to assist, all at no cost. We also offer education opportunities, much like the ones that you're joining in here today, to help propel your business forward. And through our network of business support organizations that put together the Cook County Small Business Source, we're here to provide many resources that can help propel your business forward. We are also joined here today with a few of the team members from the Cook County. I'm going to go on ahead and allow for them to introduce themselves real quick.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Uriel Mendez. I am a business advisor of the Cook County Small Business Source Program. We are very happy to assist you in any questions in the future. Please feel free to contact us on the website, on the social media. Now, let me introduce my colleague, Ileana Tostado.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Ileana Tostado. I am a business advisor for the Cook County and the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I have been doing marketing and advertising for over 25 years and look forward to being able to help you all with your small businesses. Thank you. Fernando?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fernando Velasquez. I'm the founder of Launch35, and we're a website development agency. And we have clients in North Carolina, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Over 10 years ago, I had this business idea and I hired a website developer and hired them to make a website. Long story short, I ended up spending almost $6,000. The website took forever to go live, and once it went live, it just didn't work. Overall, it was a really, really bad experience. I got so mad that I decided to learn how to make websites on my own. I started watching YouTube videos, helping friends and family get their sites up and running. Then eventually started helping small business owners get their sites up and running. And so there's been a lot of hands-on training. A lot of tough lessons learned, but it's been worthwhile. I do want to say that I don't know everything there is to know about websites. Technology is always changing. There's copywriting, SEO. There's just a lot of variables. So if there's a question that you have and I don't know, we'll figure it out together, or I'll point you in the right direction. Slide. So our goal for today is definitely to help save you some money, some time, and help you avoid frustration, and ultimately get your site live as soon as possible. As business owners, you're usually hands-on, so you're trying to figure out how to do it. So most business owners, what you do is you go to a tool like Wix or Squarespace, and you register your account, and you try to start building your site right away. So you're trying to solve all these problems all at once. You're trying to do copywriting, you're trying to find images, you're trying to troubleshoot, all while learning a new tool. So when you do it that way, it becomes a really, really bad experience. You create all these bottlenecks, and building the site just becomes this very frustrating task that you just keep postponing and postponing. So I definitely want to focus on the organization aspect of the steps to take care of before you get to building your site. For the purpose of this presentation, think about it like this. Say you're going to cook Thanksgiving dinner for your family. In order to prepare that meal, you got to go to the market, buy the ingredients, bring them back, wash, cut, dice, and then you can move forward with making that meal. So same thing applies here. You want to collect all the ingredients, organize all your tools, and once all your tools are ready, you can move to the next step, which is building your site. And also, really quick. There's a link that we want to share with you guys. So this is a resource list here. I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm going to refer to it, and it basically has a bunch of resources that you'll use that you can refer to get your site up and running. Okay, cool. So we all know that the main purpose of a site is to generate revenue, get new clients, establish a brand. But these are some of the underrated reasons you want to get your site up and running. You'll need it for a business loan, business grants, obtain business certifications, government contracts. You'll see this more and more often now that you'll be able to document your company history. You definitely wanted to recruit new team members. First thing that someone wants to do when they're interested in the company, go to their site. Website also helps you validate higher pricing, and it also makes it easier for clients to refer you. So we're going to focus on setting up your website toolbox, and your toolbox is a collection of all your assets that you're going to need for your website, all in one place. We use Google Drive in order to power your toolbox. The main reason is because it comes, sorry, let me back up really quick. Skip the slide. Before we get into the toolbox, we want to set up an independent Gmail account. So your Gmail account is, you want to create a separate account that's not attached to your personal email account, because you're going to have all these different website related accounts. And sometimes you need to share this information with your teammate or a website developer. So you want to have it, you don't want to have these accounts attached to your personal info. We also want to set up Gmail account versus say like Outlook, because Gmail comes with different tools like Drive and Sheets. And let me show you really quick. So in your Gmail dashboard, on the top right, you see this collection of dots here. So all Gmail accounts come with Google Drive, Docs, and Sheets, and these are all tools that we'll need to keep your website organized. So that's why you want to use a Gmail account. We also want to use a Gmail account because you'll need to set up your Google Analytics, and Google Analytics is basically tracks all the traffic that's coming to and from your website. It lets you know what device you're using, what part of the country they're in. It's kind of creepy actually, but it gives you all the information of all the users that go to your site. And you're going to need your Gmail account to set up that Google Analytics account. And Google Analytics is the core of your search engine optimization. And we'll talk a bit more about that and a couple other slides. You'll also use your Gmail account to set up your Google Business profile. And your Google Business profile is the profile that appears on the right-hand side when you Google search a company. It has the yellow stars, it has reviews, and directions to your office if you have one. Okay, so now we get to the toolbox. Like I mentioned, if you set up your independent Gmail account, that's going to give you access to your Google Drive. And your Google Drive is what we'll use to collect all your digital assets for your website. One of the best things about Google Drive is that it's searchable and shareable. So let me show you really quick what that means. So when you go to your Drive, and again, you can go to your Gmail dashboard, click on the top right, click on Drive, and that gives you access to your Drive. I already set up a website toolbox here. But the cool thing is that you can search and Drive here. So for example, if you type in any words, any letters, any keywords, all the documents that contain those words pop up and you have quick access to them. You can also share this toolbox with anyone in your company or people outside of your company, and you can determine the level of access you want each person to have. So that definitely streamlines collecting different documents. So now you don't have to email so many attachments to keep track of different versions of a document. It's all one here in one toolbox that's searchable and shareable. Okay. So your toolbox, why is it important? So these are two, besides the organization aspect of it, so these are two additional reasons why focusing on your toolbox at first before building your site is important. One, you get a 2-for-1. While you're organizing all your digital assets for your website, now you have everything in one place. And now it's easy to repurpose that material, that content, for other platforms. So now you have content that you can use for brochures, your business card, stock images, social media. Now it's all accessible, findable, and whenever you take on a new marketing project, you don't have to track down all these assets. Another important aspect to the toolbox is that it helps you negotiate better pricing for website services. If you go to a website developer and say, hey, I got this toolbox, all my assets are in here, I got my registrations in here, my logo, different formats, stock images, you can use that to say, hey, what kind of deal can we work out? And that's awesome for a developer as well, because now the developer can focus on being creative and focus on building the site instead of going through so many administrative steps that come along with the organization of getting a website live. Okay, so now we go to organizing your website toolbox. So these are some of the folders that I typically have in a toolbox: admin folder, logo folder, content, image, SEO folder. And you can definitely organize this however you want. Just make sure that it makes sense to you and it's easy to explain to anyone that's on your team. So one of the first administrative task, organization task that we want to take care of is set up a spreadsheet with all your accounts. Now this is a huge time saver. So many times we work with clients where one of the biggest bottlenecks is tracking down which email that they use for this account, who created it. It just creates a lot of frustration when you don't have your accounts organized and accessible. And let me show you really quick. So here I created a spreadsheet. Gmail account, the username and email that you use, password. I always include the URL so you can quickly click on that and any notes associated with that account. This spreadsheet is a huge time saver. Definitely invest some time into setting that up. Also really quick, if you use GoDaddy to purchase your domain name, whatever you do, don't lose that login info. it's a hassle to get access back. Okay. Next folder is your logo folder. So if you're working with the designer, up front, let them know that you want your logo in a vector format. Vector format basically means that you can shrink or enlarge your logo to any size and it won't come out pixelated. So you'll need this vector format for print and web. You want to ask your designer to give you the favicon for your logo, which is that, which is this little, this little icon here that goes on every tab. You want to make sure to grab that, to get that version from your designer. A lot of times when a business owner is working on the site themselves, they'll forget that favicon. You also want to get the website header version of your logo. And then there's a version of your logo for mobile sharing. So when someone sends your site through text, there's a logo that appears and you want to make sure that's the correct size so it looks formatted. Also, very important, you want to get the name of the font used in your logo. This is overlooked a lot. The name of the font helps you pair your font. So when you're working on your site, you know which fonts to use and which fonts go well with the font in your logo. And in that resource list, I included a link that helps you pair fonts. So definitely check that out. And you also want to get the color codes from your designer. The color codes are basically the number that matches exactly the color that you're using in your logo. So that just makes sure that the colors throughout your site are consistent. They're not different shades of red, different shades of blue. It's all one color, and it's keeps your brand consistent. So you want to get all this information in that logo. This is really important, this logo folder, because it's the foundation for your website as well as other marketing materials. If you're doing the logo yourself, like on a program like Canva, make sure to pay the extra to get the vector format of the logo. Excuse me. Okay. The next important piece is to draft content for your pages. So before getting to building your site, you want to have some material to work with. So you want to draft at least 3 pages in advance. You want to get some content for your home, about, and contact, at least. Obviously, there's going to be more pages, but to start with, get the content for those 3 pages and you'll have a lot to work with. If you're not good at copywriting or coming up with anything, that's not a problem at all. Borrow content from sites that are out of state, that are similar to what you do, copy and paste, edit it, customize it, infuse it with your own experience, and make it your own. No need to reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of material out there, regardless of your industry or what you do, that you can borrow from and make it your own over time. You can also leverage AI, ChatGPT. You can use that to help you draft some content. Again, just review that content from ChatGPT and customize and make it your own. Focusing on the content first will help you give you better direction when you log into a tool like Wix or Squarespace and you're looking at their templates are going to make more sense. So gathering this information is a key step. Also too, super important that when you focus on the content first, it makes it makes it much easier to select the right images and pick the right graphics, or talk to a designer and say, hey, like I need this graphic to match this content. I'm going to show you a quick example of a website that you can go to borrow some ideas. There you go. So again, before you get to building your site, you want to get this headline down, at least a draft. You don't have to have everything finalized like word for word. but just have a good starting point. So your headline, some supporting description, call to actions. So theirs is get a free demo. Get a free demo. You can draft a couple of, get some ideas of different call to actions. A call to action is what you want your visitor to do once they get to your site. So that can be to call you, submit their email in exchange for a PDF. There's different call to actions. So think about the one that best fits your target client. Here they have some testimonials. If you've been in business, try to collect at least 3 testimonials before you start building your site. If you get their consent, it's awesome to use their headshot or company logo. These are all testimonials, are probably the best trust indicator. Excuse me. So here, this is an example of a unique selling point. Unique selling points are what your company does to solve your target client's problem. So you want to draft at least 3 of these unique selling points. Headline, supporting description, call to action. Here you can see one-on-one expert support, headline, supporting description, call to action. And then you can see that the graphic matches the content. So again, if you focus on the content, coming up with graphics and finding the right stock images becomes a bit easier. Some more trust indicators. So if your company has maybe some certifications, any awards, these are a good place to incorporate them on your homepage. Trust indicators. So you want to gather those assets in advance. Frequently asked questions, something else that you can draft in advance. I also really want to quickly go over their About Us page. So their About Us page has a ton of information, probably way too much than needed, but it's a good example of different ideas that you can use for your own website. Here they have their headline, value proposition. They talk about what they do, some key stats, company timeline, how they got here, who they help, why they're in business, why they exist, principles, safety plan, even explain where the name of their company comes from. So again, I'm pointing this out, this website, just as an example of ideas that you can go and borrow some ideas from them to help you get started. About page. Content for contact page. It's straightforward. 2 things I just want to point out for this page. Most contact pages have a contact form where you can submit your email, ask questions. You get a notification when someone submits their information. You'll get a notification to your email address. Make sure that email address, you check it. If you don't check it, then don't add it to the contact form. It's really annoying not to hear back from someone you want to do business with. Also, we get this question a lot about live chat. Live chat is awesome if you have the bandwidth to respond right away. So the live chat functionality comes kind of standard with different website builders, but it's really an operations thing on the back end of your company. If you have someone that can respond right away, it's a great tool. But if you don't add it, even though it looks cool, definitely don't add it if you're not going to respond. It's really annoying when you submit a question to live chat and you don't hear back, or you hear back way later when you're not focused on that particular task anymore. Image folder, also really important. So here you want to have any stock images, client logos, headshots, icons, illustrations. A quick tip about stock images: when you download stock images from a stock image website, and I included some links to some free stock images websites on the resource list, that when you download an image from that website, the file is usually really, really large. So you don't want to upload that onto your website. You want to compress it first and then save that, include that into your image folder. So now you have the original version that which you can use for like a print. Say you want to take out an ad at, for an event brochure, and then you have the compressed version that you can use for digital platforms. Quick tip for e-commerce: if you don't have any good product photos, don't worry about a website yet. Definitely go all in and get the best product photos that you can get. Without good product photos, doesn't matter how good your website works, it's not going to benefit you or your company at all. Also too, with your product photos, you want to name them correctly with a good description. You want to set up some type of naming system, so that way you can keep good track of your inventory. And once you start working with someone, this naming system for your images is going to help with, it's going to, you're going to avoid a lot of frustration because you're going to know exactly what you're looking at. And then also use a spreadsheet to track your photos with the correct name. SEO folder. SEO kind of it's definitely its own thing. Requires its own different workshop, but as hands-on business owners and you're trying to build your website on your own, these are some basics that you can take care of for SEO. You can draft your page title, and then you can draft the meta description. So your page title is that blue text that appears when you do a Google search, and the description is that text that appears right below that blue text. And in that resource list, I included a link so you can download a spreadsheet to help you with drafting the page title and page descriptions. I just want to show you really quick what it looks like and why I like it so much. So what it does is it's already formatted to count the characters. So for a page title, the max number of characters is 70. So once you start typing, it automatically counts the number of characters. So say you delete something, it reduces, it tells you here, hey, you have 55 characters, you could add up to 15 more. So it's a pretty cool tool. You can leverage this character max. You can, enter this into chat GPT and say, write a page title for my real estate company that's under 70 characters, and it'll spit out a bunch of different text. Same thing with this current page description. It automatically calculates the number of characters. Really useful as you get it more into SEO, as your website grows and your business grows. Cool. So now your toolbox is ready. Now what? So you got all your folders organized, and now it comes time to pick the right, well, not the right, because depends on your business, but there's different website builders that you can use. Two of the more popular ones are Wix versus Squarespace. They do a lot of marketing, but they're not the only ones. But these are the most popular ones, so we'll touch on those. If you're a e-commerce company and you're just focusing exclusively on selling products, you can just go with Shopify. It's fully responsive. It's the most scalable option. It has good drop shipping, and it has a flexible navigation menu. So like right now we're working with a company that sells used clothing for children. So they'll have their categories are boy and girl, and under boy they have shirts, pants, shorts, and under that they have sizes for each one of those items. So you're going to need a more dynamic navigation menu. Squarespace and Wix don't accommodate that. So if you're a product company and you're going to need a lot of categories, go with Shopify. So Wix versus Squarespace, some similarities. So they both offer free domain registration for a year. They both allow you to set up business email through Google Workspace. They both include hosting in their pricing. They both have templates. Wix has a lot more template options, but some of them are kind of outdated. And Squarespace has less templates, but almost all of them are really good. They both offer some e-commerce functionality, just not as sophisticated as Shopify. So say you're, say you start you're starting a dog walking service and you want to sell this brand of shampoo for pets, and it's just one item, one product. Wix or Squarespace can accommodate that e-commerce functionality. Both include SSL certificates. Basically, that means it secures your site. Both cost about the same. I think Wix might be a little bit cheaper, depending on the plan, but both about the same. Quick tip: when you register for Wix or Squarespace, don't pay anything up front. You're allowed to use the tool for as long as you want. For Wix, for sure, I know that like within that week of registering, they'll email you a 50% off coupon, and you'll also see it within the Wix dashboard. So when you get that coupon, that's a great time to sign up. You'll get 50% off the number of years that you pay for. It's a good deal. Same thing with Squarespace. I don't know if it's 50% off though. So what's the key difference between Wix and Squarespace? So there's a lot of differences, but the main one is the editor. So the editor is what you'll mainly be using to move around the content on your page. So the pro for the Wix editor is that it allows for detailed customization. So meaning that you can move the elements on your page anywhere you want, pixel by pixel. So this is a pro and a con depending how you look at it. So because has good customization, you can edit the desktop version and you can edit the mobile version. So that's a pro if you want that flexibility. It could be a con because now you have to make 2 changes. So whatever changes you make on the desktop, you also got to consider how it's going to look on mobile. So a con for the Wix editor is that it's more of a learning curve. In the beginning, Wix was really user-friendly, or it's not, well, let me rephrase that. In the beginning, it had less options and less functionality. So it's more straightforward, easier to use. Now, like it's its own ecosystem. It has like a bunch of different functions, features, integrations. It's basically like a full-blown development tool. So because of that, there's more of a learning curve. So you can definitely do a lot more custom work, but it's going to take you a bit more time to get familiar with all the tools. So Squarespace editor, the pro, it's easier to use, a lot easier to use. So the pro and the con is that it's 100% mobile responsive. So depending how you look at it, so it could be a pro because if you make a change on the desktop version of your site on Squarespace, it automatically translates that into the tablet and into the mobile version. So you're just editing once. So that's pretty cool. But it could also be a con because you might like the desktop version of your Squarespace template, but you might want to change something on your mobile version, but you're not able to. So the template is the template in Squarespace. So again, the con for that is not as customizable, but it is easier to use. Another couple of key differences with Wix and Squarespace: customer support. Both have great customer support through live chat, but Wix has a phone call option. In the resource list, I added a link to how to get someone from Wix to call you back. It's kind of awkward how they did it, but that link will help you through the steps. And once you do it once, it's a great option if you get stuck on a particular problem with Wix. Also really important, want to point out that Wix and Squarespace both offer templates, and the templates are great starting points. In Squarespace, if you start with a particular template and then you're like, you know what, I don't really like this template, I like this other one better, you can switch to that one and all the content transfers and you don't have to start from scratch. With Wix, because it is customizable, once you start on a template, you start making changes, and then you're like, you know what, I want to set this other template, I've used this other one, you're going to have to start from scratch. So that's something important to keep in mind when you're picking Wix or Squarespace. Okay, cool. So now you got your website toolbox organized. You picked the website builder, you built your site. Now it comes time to connect your domain. So there's two things I just want to emphasize this about your domain, that it powers both your website URL, which is yourbusiness.com, gmail.com, wix.com, and your business email. They're both related. So there's a scenario, there's a common scenario that happens that creates a lot of problems if you're not aware of it. So a lot of business owners, they'll be in business for a couple of years. They'll set up their business email address, right? They're using that email address to get clients. People email them. They might have a couple of employees that use emails. And then, around year 2 or 3, they're like, okay, cool, let's get a website up and running. And then that website, they build it. And then when they connect it, it goes live and you're happy that your website is live, but then it disconnects your business email. And that causes a lot of problems when your email isn't working. So just please be aware that when you connect your domain, there might be some settings on your business email that you have to update in order to keep your business email working. So connecting your domain is really can be confusing. So we won't go into the technical step-by-step of connecting your domain. As a business owner working on this, you don't want to worry too much about your domain. Leverage Wix and Squarespace, contact them, say, hey, we want to connect our domain, please help us, they'll help you. You can also reach out. In the resource list, included a link to schedule an appointment. If you mention that you were watching on this webinar, we'll walk you through we'll do it for you actually. We'll connect your domain and make sure your email is up and running. So don't get too stressed out about connecting your domain. Just use your resources to complete this final step. You have your toolbox, you have your site that you made. This last step, reach out for some help. Unless you really just want to go out of your way and just figure it out, then, which is also awesome. I just probably wouldn't do it if that's not my business. Okay, so after you connect your site, you do want to do some quality control. Not sure what, I think there's a name for it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's kind of like when you're doing social media and you're preparing a post, you write a caption, and then you finally hit publish. Like as soon as it's live, you see it differently and you start seeing things that you could have done better. So the same thing applies to websites. So you could be working on your site for a couple of weeks, a month, and as soon as you hit live, publish, and other people can see it, certain things start standing out that you're like, oh, I could do this better. I can swap out this image. This makes more sense here. So once it's live, you do want to take some time to do some quality control. Make sure that it still looks good on desktop and mobile. Connect your Google Analytics at this point, and then definitely check for spelling and grammar. Maintenance plan. This part is really important. So the first draft of your site, the first live version of your site is just that. Your site's going to get better over time. And this is how it happens, by doing updates bi-weekly. You can update text based on client feedback. So once your site is live and you're communicating with clients and you're hearing what language the clients are using, you want to incorporate that into the text of your website. Also, you want to add new testimonials, try different call to actions, check on functions, SEO, update images. Updating your site weekly lets Google know that your business is active. It also lets clients know that your business is growing. This is really where how your site becomes really valuable over time. You iterate, you improve it step by step, and in the long run, it really becomes like a full-time employee, a full-time team member that's always working for you 24/7. And that's it for now. Questions?
Hey, Fernando, we do have a couple of questions here in the chat. The first one being, is Google Drive the same as the cloud?
Yes, so it lives on the cloud. So Google Drive, you can technically access Google Drive from any device. So you can install it on your phone, any computer. So it's definitely cloud-based.
Awesome. And then we have another question in the chat. Is Wix compatible with Square for calendar, payments, and invoices?
Wix has their own e-commerce function. I believe it's PayPal. You could add Square, but it'll be a separate app. But Wix has the e-commerce functionality to accept payment. And I think you can select Square. If you committed to Square, if you have to use Square, yeah, you can definitely integrate it through some customization. But if you're not, then I would just use what's inside Wix. It just simplifies everything.
Do you have any recommendations for the easiest way to build a logo yourself as a business owner?
To build the logo, you can use Canva, ChatGPT. You can ask it AI. There's AI logo generators. You can just Google that. There's in the link in the resource list, I included a link that has stock photo options. So so the stock photo websites also include vector logos that you can search, and you can use a stock logo to get started. On the professional side, you always want a designer to create your logo. Logo design is its own thing. It's very specific. They know how to combine colors, fonts. They match the logo to your brand and what you want to communicate visually. So that's ideally what you would do. But if you want to tackle it on your own, you can use Canva. There's Adobe. Adobe Creator Studio has some options. And I'll add some more options for logo into that resource list for creating logos.
And for the viewer that asked that question, we also did host a how to use Canva webinar. You can find that recording on our Facebook page. I could also send it out to you as well. So you have another question here. What are your thoughts on using the free Google website builder instead of Wix, Squarespace, or other services?
Yeah, you can. The Google Builder is awesome as well. It works a lot like Squarespace, meaning that it's 100% responsive. So any edits that you make, it automatically translates them to the tablet version and mobile version, and it's already included in Gmail or Google Workspace. So there's nothing extra to pay for.
what if they already have a Wix website? Can you help with improving the website?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
The question is, what if we have a Wix website already? Can you help with improving it?
Yes, absolutely. Mhm. We can take a look, we can do an audit and provide some suggestions on how to improve it. The audit is very collaborative, so we'll ask you a lot of questions, ask you why you set it up this way or why this wording, and we'll work together to improve it.
All right, we got one more question here. Any free AI sites that can help to build websites other than ChatGPT?
Yeah, so I'm working on a list now, and that's I'm going to include that into that resource list. There's a lot, there's so many. I just know personally I've used ChatGPT. There's a couple other ones that I've kind of tested, but not really. So but I'll be testing some more out and I can add them to that resource list. So bookmark that resource list. It'll be a live list that we'll be updating consistently.
And then we have a couple of questions regarding how to set up or coordinate an audit. Do you have any contact details where they can reach out to you?
Yeah, in that resource list, I have I'll add it right now. You can just schedule a meeting time and just mention that you're on this webinar, and we'll work together for sure. We'll help you out.
Fantastic. Does anyone have any other questions? Can you show that contact slide again, Fernando? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Fernando, for this fantastic presentation. There's a lot of great information and getting a lot of thank yous on the chat. Sorry, I thought there was more questions. Could you hit the next slide for me real quick?
No problem. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. And just to reiterate what I had mentioned earlier, at the IHCC with the Cook County Small Business Source, we do offer a free one-on-one business advising for your business needs, whether it be starting up your business or expanding your business. We're here to provide support. So if you want to schedule a one-on-one advising session, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen or email any of the team members that is currently on your screen, as well as you could contact our offices at 312-425-9500. We're here to help you. And then just real quick on a couple other events that we have going on here. I'll put the next slide for me, Fernando. So we have a social media marketing 101 session coming up on Tuesday, May 9th. That's going to be held by our two subject matter experts, Kayla Terrazas and Ileana Tostado, that are here in this webinar today. And then we also have, next slide for me, please. We also have a collaboration with the Illinois Restaurant Association to provide opportunities for management level Serve Safe, which is a food safety certification at no cost. These sessions are specifically in Spanish and will be held on May 11th and May 15th. So you can also give us a call or scan that QR code on the screen if you're interested, or you know anyone that could take benefit of this opportunity. Next slide. Aside from that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or shoot me an email. We're here to help. Real quick, Fernando, can you slide back to the marketing slide real quick?
This one?
Thank you so much. And if there's no more questions, everyone have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.